Welcome. This is the turntable brought to you by Shiki, Ari Styles, and D Money on Active FM, where radio has never been better.
As Shiki said, I am Ari Styles, and this is the turntable where we keep you learned and get you turned, or get you learned and keep you turned, however you want to look at it.
You can get it however you want it.
Yeah, however you want it.
I'm D Money, and we're bringing you the facts, playing you the tracks, and we got a great show ahead for you all today. So let's get into it. So today's show we're going to bring you, as if you were listening last week, we said we're going to be discussing hip-hop beefs. So today we're going to start with one of the very first beef in hip-hop history, which is KRS-One versus MC Shan.
In the starting, you said if you were listening last week,
Were you listening?
we're bringing in we'll be
Beefs,
discussing certain beefs,
beefs.
and then you say this was one
The
of the
first.
So clearly you weren't
You weren't listening.
last week.
You weren't listening last week
was
because this was
one
not
of
the first.
One of the first.
We spoke,
beefs.
yeah, because last week we spoke about one of the first, one of the first beefs, the two first beefs, the one on Wax and the one you said Buzzy B
And Cool Modi.
and Cool Modi, and the one on Wax was Roxanne, the Roxanne was.
Shante, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was also part of the same thing.
Yeah,
we're
it's gonna end.
discuss.
It's gonna
discuss
end up.
today.
So,
So yeah, to some extent you are correct.
Exactly.
yeah,
It was the same cruise. It was the
same crew, but
different
first,
individuals.
chronological order. There's no particular order.
Chronological order and particular order is two different.
Different,
things.
but yeah. Okay.
Chronological
Yeah,
order
because-
is like
yeah.
first to last.
Yeah, so first to last, first was the Buzzy B, Cool Modi, not on Wax.
So
then-
Diren, please don't only be part of recording our shows, listen to it as well.
Oh, listen to who's speaking.
It would be very helpful.
Yeah,
if you
that was
listen.
very helpful. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, but today we're going to discuss the bridge wars. Shiki, would you want to start with the bridge wars?
all right. So, firstly, I know it's generally acceptable calling these beefs, but they actually technically battles. A beef, I think, is something a little bit more personal, which I got into last week. This was KRS-One versus MC Sen, the Juice Crew versus BDP, which is Boogie Down Productions. That's why we said it ties into Roxanne Shante, because she was Juice Crew, which was Mali Mal and basically people from Queensbridge. This was one of the first times, before I get into how it started and all of that things, this was one of the first times where you actually saw, which became a trend in hip-hop afterwards. You saw 50 Cent do it, you saw Cannabis try it with LL Cool J and Lose, where an unknown, unestablished artist attacked established artist, someone that was on top of the game, won and basically took his spot. After that, many hip-hop artists tried that. This was basically KRS-One attacking MC Shan and basically taking his spot. And MC Shan, to a lot of people, felt like he fell off after that.
Yeah.
So this was one of the blueprints for that. A lot of people used it afterwards. 50 Cent with Ja Rule, many occasions. I think this was the most successful one. And we'll get into those other ones as the weeks go along. Also, this element, this beef brought in like Jamaican elements. If you listen to KRS's music, there was a lot of Jamaican elements within the music. So this was one of the first times it came through.
Yeah.
Right? Now, with regard to how it started, there's different stories, right? But then KRS eventually came out and spoke the truth. So basically, KRS-One
And Scott
and
LaRock.
Scott LaRock approached someone by the name of Mr. Magic.
And
who-
Mr. and who was part of the, basically, not part of the Juice Crew,
He
but
was associated,
associated with the Juice Crew.
He was
yes.
a radio DJ.
Radio DJ.
Yes,
yes.
but he would
One of
play
the
Juice
hottest
Crew.
yeah,
Yeah.
radio DJs ever.
And he either didn't like the record that they gave him or he didn't take it or something. So they were offended by that. And they ended up dissing MC Shan. But the excuse they used was he had a song called The Bridge.
Yes.
And The Bridge was basically saying, in the beginning, Mali Mal,
Yeah.
legendary
Legendary
hip-hop producer.
MC Shan basically stated on the track. I'm gonna quote from the line from his verse, on his song The Bridge. MC Shan's track is MC Shan said it like this: "You love to hear the story again and again of how it all started way back when. The monument is right in your face. Sit and listen for a while to the name of the place, the bridge, Queen, the bridge. So yes, they flipped that line to make it sound like MC Shan was talking about hip hop Saturday.
So basically what they did is use an excuse to attack him. On The Bridge, even in the beginning, you hear Mali Mal started the record basically saying this is how they started or where they came from.
Yeah.
So they're not saying hip-hop started in Queensbridge. They were saying how hip-hop started for them, how
For
they
them.
got
Yeah.
introduced to it, not where it actually started. But this was an excuse Chris used to say, okay, hip-hop actually started in the South Bronx where he's from, and these people are saying they started there, so it was an excuse to attack them.
But actually, it
Yeah,
actually
but then later on he
later
came
on,
out and
he
said
came out
that
and said
he was just offended by
Oh.
Mr. Magic and he wanted to attack
he
somebody.
wanted to attack.
Because that's how KRS is.
Yeah.
And that was his excuse to attack somebody.
Yeah, and to say it started from South Bronx, it actually started in West Bronx. If you guys listen to our first show where we said hip hop started in 11th August.
So I wasn't listening also.
It started in West Bronx. Specifically, I'll even give you the Avenue 11, Sedgwick,
Sedgwick Avenue. I
Yeah.
remember you saying that. Yeah.
1973. Yeah.
Alright, so
August
yeah,
1973.
so
So
he
it was
basically-
it like basically the Bronx or New York on a whole that started hip hop, but it was beef in
New York is
between.
regarded as the mecca of hip hop.
Yeah, but
the
I
Bronx
mean like
specifically is where it
in
began, where DJ Cooler,
DJ
Yeah.
Kulak, yeah.
because then you got
Africa Mabata, yeah. So, DJ Kulak in Bronx, and then south of Bronx was Africa Bambata.
where Chris is from,
Where
and
Chris
he
is
was
from.
associated with Zulu Nation and so forth.
Yeah. Okay. Another further background on KRS, right? An
Mhm.
interesting story. How KRS got found. How Scott the Rock found KRS one.
Living in a shelter.
Living in a shelter. Yes. So Scott the Rock used to
Work in a
work
homeless
in a homeless shelter, and then he just heard this guy begging and freestyling
Rapping
and
on
banging
it,
and
yeah.
rapping on the while he's banging on it. I think he was banging on the drum, and that's how KRS got was founded.
I like just rest in peace to Scott LaRock. He
Yeah.
was killed. Yeah. Anyway, so going from there, the Bridge was MC Shane's record, and then
The Bridge
KRS
came
One
out
responded with South Bronx.
Yes, with South Bronx. Yeah, basically it's similar to the Bridge.
Same hook, just
Same
South,
hook,
South Bronx as
yeah,
opposed to.
but it
Bridge.
but instead of the Bridge, it went to South Bronx. So there was a concert, the South Bronx first premiered, on a concert where MC Shane was performing before KRS One came in. So when MC Shane performed the Bridge, and then KRS One came after that, and that's when South Bronx came on to.
Yeah, basically,
Jesus.
that, like I said earlier, it also had some Jamaican flavor in there, that song. And then he said, I think it was DJ Red Alert that played that song, if
Mhm.
I'm correct. KRS says this, and then he played it 3 times, so the song was actually a hit and was in response to The Bridge, which wasn't a diss record. But South Bronx was a response, also might not necessarily have been a diss record. And then MC Shane responded to South Bronx,
With Kill the Noise.
Kill That Noise. Now, see, and basically a lot of people say he lost. Hence KRS became established and kind of took his spot at that point
So
in
when
time.
MC Shane came up with Kill That Noise,
Mhm.
and that's when we got The Bridge Is Over.
Mhm.
The
That is
response
why
it
people
was
said
that
he
was
lost.
the response to
For Kill That Noise.
for Kill That Noise, and yeah. So people might have said, okay, MC Shane lost, or okay, everybody.
It's universally accepted.
It's universally accepted. But MC Shane in an interview basically stated that Malimar told he wanted to he had a track ready to go against The Bridge Is Over, but Malimar talked
him out of it.
Talked him out of it.
I think basically because The Bridge Is Over was universally accepted as the winning record, and Chris was such a deadly MC, especially a battle MC at that point in time, taking nothing away from MC
Yeah.
Shane. I think they felt like he couldn't come back. So basically, yes, The Bridge Is Over. And The Bridge Is Over wasn't only attacking MC Shane, it was attacking Queensbridge and Queens as a whole at that point in time. So that's why hence the term The Bridge Is Over.
Yeah.
And Queensbridge was the part of Queens where all the rappers were coming from at that point
at
in
that
time.
point in time, yes.
So during that period of time, they said it's over for Queens and Queensbridge until what album came out, Are?
Hmm? Which one?
After The Bridge Is Over.
Yeah.
They said it was, you watch Drink Champs all the time.
Yeah.
You listen to Drink Champs, right? They said it was over for Queens after The Bridge Is Over.
I know. I know where you. I know. I think I know where
Right.
you.
Until a
swinging in and out.
specific album came out
It's
that
swinging
brought
us
Queens
Illmatic.
and Queensbridge back.
Ilmeric.
I was just, I wanted you to
Okay.
say it. I
Yes,
just wanted
Throwing
you
it
to
out
say it.
there.
Yes, just throwing it out there.
But
So
was that not the fact?
you know, it's
Uh-huh.
it's a fact. It's a
He
fact.
brought
No,
Queens
it's not-
back.
He brought Queens back, no doubt. And then after Ilmatic changed the game, and then you started getting the Queens
Resurgence.
Queen resurgence, and that's when we ended up with someone by the name of Curtis Jackson,
That was many years.
Yeah, but you found a way to bring
That was
Nas.
9 years
Yeah,
later.
but doesn't matter. You found a way to bring in Nas. And it was also about 1986, 87.
I just said album. I never said his
1993.
name.
No,
94.
Yes, star.
I just said
Didn't
which
he
one.
bring it in? So
Basically,
can't
I was
bring one of
speaking.
my people.
Harry, slow down.
I was speaking about the impact and the power of the bridges over it. It killed
Yeah.
the entire borough for hip hop, right?
Yeah.
Even though there were people that were around that time, Cool J Rap and other people
Yeah.
came out as well. But the borough was looked at as dead
Yeah.
until that album came. So I was talking about the impact about the bridges over.
Okay.
You just had to bring up someone that came out in 03.
Yeah, I had to. It's part of life. It was character. Anyway, yeah. So, do you know what do you know that Roxanne Shante also made a diss track against KRS?
Yeah, because but
Yeah.
that might have been before or
No,
before
no,
that
it
time or
was
during that
no,
time.
it was during that time. It was during the time. Remember, Big Daddy Kane was part of the Juice Crew,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And
K-
Roxanne Shante
and
was
Roxanne
Juice
Shante. So Roxanne, because KRS also went
The entire Juice Crew.
yeah.
Well, they
he-
looked at it like that. He was
but
actually attacking MC
He
Shen.
was only attacking MC Shen, but they looked at it like that. The only two people that he was cool with, KRS, was Buzz Markie and Big Daddy Kane, right? And just on that, what Roxanne Shante's does against the KRS one, Big Daddy Kane was the one that wrote it for. Yeah, and then we went and the bridge was.
No
goes-
disrespect to Kane, but I don't feel like he would have been able to stand in the ring with Kras.
he-
On the battle side, as an
yeah.
MC maybe, but on the battle
Yeah,
side,
he said he basically said KRS is a battle rapper.
they
He's
recently had a
battle rapper.
versus. It was KRS versus Big Daddy Kane versus a couple of months ago.
Yeah,
A lot of people were hoping for Big Daddy Kane versus Rakim, but they said Rakim's not such a great performer,
yeah,
so they went that route anyway.
yeah.
Anything-
But anyway, let's go on with the story of the bridge. The bridge is a legacy that will always that will always be there in hip hop. I think everybody said it if KRS never had to attack MC Shen, KRS's career was gonna go in a different way.
Well, he said it as well. He said if Shen never responded what killed that noise, he'd have no career. Because he responded to South Bronx what killed that noise, it allowed him to make the bridges over and then establish himself as an
Yeah.
artist. So early on, I said basically unestablished artist attacking. He basically gave him his career.
Fighting
Yeah.
for the top spot.
Yeah.
So
That's always
that's-
been a part of
that's
hip hop.
all, yeah.
This beef is one of the blueprints for how battles went in the future. You know, people use that technique and that way to come up and to get noticed.
Yeah, and then if you want to study about battle rapping, because that's something that KRS also mentioned how he practices to battle. So he sees who's the top 10 in the Billboard.
Top 10 hip hop artists.
He
in Bangladesh.
top 10 hip hop artists, and then he starts doing his battle raps, just for him to practice and keep for him to keep the skill. And as rappers, you need to sharpen your sword. You need to practice daily.
He wasn't saying that to say he was practicing. He was basically saying that to warn the top 10 that say something crazy.
Yeah.
And I got something for you.
Yeah, but he
Because
said
he still is a competitor till today.
but he mentioned he practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then basically, do you know when in which year that beef got revived?
I don't think it ever ended. If you saw
It
the
never
with
ended.
MC Shen couple
Yeah,
of weeks
no,
ago,
but
he's still
no,
bad.
it died off. It went off. Not died off, but it will never die off. But it was silent. And then I think it was to 2016, 2016 or 2006 somewhere. The interview with MC Shen, and that's when MC Shen said, "Oh." Then there was apparently there was a phone call interview, right? And on the phone call, MC Shen said, I will do it without, I'll hit a verse against KRS without the beat. Tell him to come out, and he did it. KRS responded with another track, and literally killed it.
Yeah, no,
And asked MC Shen to basically apologize.
You were saying something about KRS yesterday or the other day? You saw something recently about the freestyle?
Yeah, the way he's been dissing all the new rappers and the new flow. So I think he's been doing this his whole career.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's his thing.
That's his
And
thing.
then
Because he got the rule book for hip hop, and I think one of them in the books he says rule number 71, never does KRS one or something. I don't know
Yeah.
which number it is, but I know there's a
Yeah.
one in there.
yeah, and then also in 2007, this is still a legacy of the bridge was, right? In 2000, something historic. In 2007, Mali Mal and KRS collabs on
A track.
an album.
Oh, they did an album.
They did an album, and MC Shen also in that interview.
He had an issue with Mali Mal doing that.
He had an issue. And he said, Mali Mal was a guy. He did it. Remember, he had a beef with LL Cool J at the same point where the bridge was. If you look at the South, if you listen to the South Bronx, you hear him mention KRS mentions about LL, because at that specific time, MC Shen was going against LL, because LL
Was the commercial rapper at
yeah,
that point?
no,
in time.
besides that, he was saying he made a track against LL, saying LL is a beat biter. There's a track called Beat Biter.
Oh yeah,
which-
yeah.
which is
Okay,
a
I know
dust-
what you're talking about. Yeah.
which is a dust to LL because
Of the Mali Mal record.
because
that
of the
he feel
Mal,
like he stole.
you feel like he stole the Mali Mal record with Rock the Bells, something of that sort. So MC Shen said with Mali Mal, all the guys MC Shen went against. Mali Mal made a collab with him.
Yeah,
So,
but
yeah.
he was a producer, so you can't really put him in that.
You can't put
category.
him in
Don't confuse Mali Mal and Melly Mel, two different
Yeah,
people.
Mali Mal, yeah.
He was legendary
Yeah, so
producer.
but I see that's why when you witness when you see what MC Shen now in his interviews, you can see still here he has that something hidden that to get it.
Oh no, it's not hidden. He blatantly says
Yeah.
he still don't like him and still want to battle.
Yeah.
It's nothing hidden.
Yeah,
So
but
is
he's
this beef is still going
It's
on?
still going on.
I don't think it's active, but I don't
not
like
active.
each other.
They
Well,
just-
maybe not like us. They've been on
It's-
stage and things together. It's just that I think there'll always be a wound that's open, especially on Shen's side, because within hip hop, especially at that point in time, if you lose, you were out, you were done. Not you could still make music and still
Yeah.
sell records and perform and whatever, but you
Well,
that loss will always be what you. It's not like today where you can lose and Drake's still the biggest artist out there and he lost damn near every battle he's in. Besides the Meek situation, right? Back then, if you lost and you lost badly, there was like a stain on your reputation
Sure.
for the rest of your career. So he still feels a certain way about it because then battling was extremely important. It should be still till today, but unfortunately.
Yeah. So yeah, if you even like even when you see in the Dream Champs, MC Shen has that heart in it.
Yeah, he says so.
But no one's downing MC Shen. MC Shen's still like one of the
Pioneers, forefathers.
one of the pioneers of lyrical rap, as you can say it.
Chris as well. Chris is
Chris, yeah.
we're at the top whatever discussion the other day. A lot of people have him up there in his, depending on what your preferences are.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else to add on this topic?
Yeah, no, that's about it because
So
we're
the
gonna
bridge
go
is
on,
over.
because the bridge
It's not over.
is not yet. That's why I asked earlier: is the bridge over?
If you count where most of the great rappers come from one borough and one project in one borough, is Queensbridge. They have the most rappers that come from one place and the most impactful lyrical, like great rappers that come from one particular place is Queens and Queensbridge specifically. So it's not over.
Yeah, hence I'm saying,
'Cause they had a
is the
research-
bridge over?
No, they had a resurgence after a specific album that shall not be named, Illmatic.
Illmatic Nas.
And then day afterwards, there was a flurry of them. Actually, looking at Comega, Capone, Mob Deep. Yes, there's so many.
There's
to
so
mention.
many. And 50 Cent
That's not from the bridge, but yes.
from Queens.
Anyway, are we ready to move on?
Yeah, bo.
Yeah.
Well, the artist we're focusing on for this week is Toby Mac.
So as Shiki was saying, our focus artist for the week is Toby Mac, also known as by his government name as Kevin Michael McKinnon.
McKinnon.
Yeah,
McKeon.
McKeon.
McKeon, yeah.
McKeon. So
Well
he
done.
was born in 1964 in Virginia, USA. So he's a Christian hip hop artist as well as Christian rock. He's a rapper, singer, producer, songwriter. He's been active since 1987.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
The labels that he's part of is Forefront and EMI CMG. So a little interesting fact about Toby Mac as well. So when he was 13 years old, he went on to a camp. So he was actually told it was going to be a basketball camp, but it was actually a Christian camp. And that's where him and four of the other guys actually gave their lives to God, and that's where his like journey with the hip hop started.
So you met a group member there, like
Yeah.
hip-hop
Yeah.
group.
Yeah, so yeah, to allude to that, the group members'
To
names.
elude today.
Yeah.
You just use the wrong word and then continue like no one's gonna notice.
Sorry.
Elude means
Sorry,
evading. To elude means to evade.
Okay,
something.
sorry.
You just use the wrong word.
I
and
use the wrong
continue
word. I use the
and
wrong word.
expect me not to comment on it.
My mistake. To continue with what you're saying, in 1987, you said he met a few group members.
Yeah.
In the Scam Ford, and they basically formed a group called DC Talk
DC Talk, yeah,
DC
in
Talk.
1987.
in 1987. If you listen to our first show where we spoke about origins and the origins of hip hop, I mentioned a few groups, and DC Talk is one of the founding members of the Christian hip hop.
So he was part of a group.
DC Talk, yeah.
They
He
were-
formed it. He's the one that formed
They
it.
were active from 1987 till 2000 when they took a hiatus. Mace, if you know.
So he
So
just
there was
found-
no
he-
welcome back for him.
Yeah, he just found a way to
That's
bring in
when
Mace.
he, and that's
Yeah.
when he got like into his solo career from 2001.
Granted, I do feel like we have to discuss Mace at some point in time because he didn't just take a hiatus, he took a hiatus to become a pastor.
Yeah,
And
Yes.
then came back as Murder Mace, which is ridiculous, but anyway.
yeah. And then on that, Toby Mac has won 8 Grammys.
Oh, that's quite a high number for a hip hop artist.
The first being back in 1993. In 2008, he won a Grammy Award for Best Rock Gospel Album. In 2012, Best Contemporary Christian Music Album. In 2015, Best Contemporary Christian Music Album.
I don't put much credence on awards, especially like the Grammys and things like that, because they don't tell me what's good and what's not. But I think artists it's overlooked, like someone like this, and the fact that he got 8 Grammys is something that should be highlighted, because clearly the music is of a certain quality.
And another fact also, like between DC Talk and his solo album in his career, he sold more than 10 million albums, which is
This is quite a
quite a
decent number for a Christian artist, which is somewhat regarded as an underground genre,
Christian hip-hop.
subgenre.
Christian
Christian
hip-hop.
hip-hop artist, yeah, which is looked at as an underground subgenre, if not. So to have moved that type of units as well as get 8 Grammys.
Okay.
So he's been in the game, and then so there is some, but on a sadder note, in 2019, his son passed away by an accidental overdose, and so that was like the period in his life where he said that up until that point everything was like perfect and beautiful, and that's when he experienced
Tragedy
grief.
struck.
Yeah, so, but he's still been in the game. He says he's still able to, like in his faith, he will see his child like again, and he's still active in his music and still going on.
Yeah. So on his solo career, right? I'm gonna give a list of albums. If you guys want to listen to it, you can do so. Albums. He basically started in his solo album, first solo album in 2001. It's called Momentum. 2003, RE Mix Momentum. 2004, Welcome to Diversity. 2005, Renovating Diversity. Portable Sounds in 2007. Alive and Transported in 2008. Tonight 2010. Christmas in Diversity 2011. I On It 2012. This Is Not a Test 2015. Hits Deep Live 2016. Light of Christmas 2017. The Element 2018. The Saint Nemele Collab Sessions 2019. Toby Mac Collection 2020. Live in Denver 2021. That's quite a number.
I
of
apologize for Ari struggling to say words.
Yeah.
So just Google it because he
Yeah,
was
sorry.
truly struggling. That second album you said is called what? RE Mix Momentum.
Yeah.
So that's just basically a clever way to say remix.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's a RE mix. Yeah, so that's his albums. I remember earlier I did say something similar to a LL where he had a longevity with lots of albums. Yeah.
13 albums. Well, LL used to be looked at like that once upon a time because he's an artist that came around in the 80s, mid 80s, still active till like the mid 2000s. He had 13 albums, all of them platinum or gold. But because hip hop was in his infancy stages. now you get in a point where artists that came out in the 90s, he's still extremely active, still doing well, still putting out records because the genre has grown older. So he's not the only one to have done that, but he is one of the first and one of the few remaining active
From the 80s.
superstar 80s. Because unfortunately, you got mainly your hip hop superstars came around in the 90s.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then grew till today. Unfortunately, the 80s guys is looked, they kind of looked over in some degree. And I think him and Run DMC, which I'm dressed like today, I would just like to add. I am dressed like this.
Where's your Kango? I
here's
thought
the
you were
Kango.
gonna be dressed like.
Okay. So yeah. The reason why I mentioned L because Toby Mac, to put some what's it called, he's regarded as one of the if you search top 50 Christian hip hop artists, he's in the top 10.
I'm not having this conversation with you. I'm not having this conversation with you.
No, I'm talking Christian hip hop.
Yeah, I know. I'm still not having this conversation with you. We're not having top nothing because you don't let me get it off.
Yeah, because your top is in no particular order.
So that was Toby Mac. Anything else you'd like to add on him?
No.
So now we're gonna pass it over to Ari Styles.
TWIHHH. This week in hip hop history.
What? TWIHHH.
TWIHHH, yeah.
Oh, TWIHHH. This week in hip hop history. Right. So in June 2008, Ice-T does a Soulja Boy. The reason why I put it here because Ice-T mentioned it when he was asked when they asked Ice-T about the current state of hip hop at that time in 2008. Ice-T said Soulja Boy single-handedly killed hip hop.
I agree.
Right? You were bombing the Soldier Boy in 2008.
Ironically. Nobody liked that trash.
Superman.
Kiss me through the phone.
Oh, kiss you through the phone.
Yeah.
Because you actually want someone to kiss you through the phone.
No. What's the point
Okay.
of it? No, and I agree with it. Besides that, I was happy that someone, at that point in time, I was actually happy that someone said something because he was just allowed to make utter nonsense and call it music, rap or hip hop. And I'm happy that someone actually stood up and said something that is utter garbage.
And someone credible.
Yes.
Ice-T. June 1996, Helter Skelter releases Nocturnal.
Helter
What does
Skelter.
Nocturnal mean, Ari?
Nocturnal meaning you sleep in a day and you out at
Oh.
night.
Okay, I was just asking. Because you've been struggling
Like
with
yourself.
words today and you used the wrong words.
Yeah, sorry, today is not a good day. It's very cold. June 2013, Jesus is released. Kanye West. June 2013 as well, J. Cole releases Born Sinner. That is his second album. June 2001, Baby Boy soundtrack is released. That's
The movie, baby.
the movie Baby Boy, and there's a song with Tyrese and Snoop Dogg called Baby Boy.
Yeah, well, there were 2 stars. Well, Tyrese was the star of the movie.
Yeah.
And Taraji, Snoop had a
Snoop had
cameo.
a cameo, yeah. But I like it song. You just a baby boy.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure if I
You're
even
not
the
the real
real
McCoy.
McCoy.
Oh, okay. That.
I've been running the streets. Okay. June 1989, NWA was arrested for F the police.
For performing it or for the record coming out?
the record and they were warned before performing it.
Or in Detroit, like
in
the
Detroit.
scene from the movie.
But that's what actually happened. The scene from the movie, they dramatized it, right?
Obviously.
So how it actually happened is they were told not to perform the track. They performed it, but when they went back to the hotel, that's when the police came. It's not how they showed it on the movie.
Listen, it's a movie, it's dramatized. I believe it happened that way. You cannot tell me otherwise. It happened like how I saw it in the movie. That's how it happened.
I'm telling you from
No, you are
that's
ruining
happened.
people's childhoods here. That's so
No, they saw
It
the
happened-
movie.
It
They
happened
saw
like
the
how it happened
movie.
in the movie. That's what I will
No.
believe till the end
Okay.
of time.
You can believe it, but I'm just giving you the.
Exactly, it's
Yeah, we
extremely-
state the. Yeah, what say your line? We state the facts and
And
play
bring
the
the
tracks.
tracks.
There's it. That's it.
You just got you learnt.
got
Now
you
he's gonna
learnt.
get you
Now to
turned.
get you turned.
And it's
Right.
an important record anyway. That was like the beginning time of the counterculture,
Oh,
anti-establishment,
police
going against the
brutality.
government, police type of
Police
music. It was
brutality.
them and Public Enemy.
And
And it's an important record.
And it's such an important song that even now, what police brutality that song
Still
was
relevant,
prevalent.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was written by Ice Cube also.
Yeah. Eric in June 1990, Eric B and Rakim released Let Let the Rhythm Beat 'Em. That's the third album.
Yeah, we were speaking about Rakim earlier in the bridge, the KRS section. He was an 80s rapper as well, extremely influential. One of the best MCs, changed the game in terms of the way people rhymed. His whole structure, everything, the way he schemes, the way he wrote, changed the entire game. And he wrote, no. People thought he wrote some of Will Smith's joints, but he actually didn't. He admitted it. It was just his flow that Will Smith stole.
Okay. June 1995, Mac 10 debuts. His debut album was released in 95.
Just for some
Mac 10.
perspective, Mac 10 was part of Ice Cube's group. What are they called again?
West Side Connection.
West Side Connection, that's it.
Ha, here's it. June 2010, Eminem releases Recovery. Eminem yet to come in the show.
If it's part of TWIHHH, then you can mention it. I don't
Right.
have an issue with it.
Why-
Since we're on the Eminem thing anyway, this is not necessarily history because it just happened yesterday. And
Wait.
it's a rumor. Okay, you're going to get into it.
Okay, rumor.
Not a rumor, I mean a new event, basically, which will become history. It's the first ever official Snoop and Eminem collaboration that came out yesterday. Since we were on the Eminem
Okay,
thing, I thought we were going to... Oh, you were going to get into it, I apologize.
But anyway, but thank you for highlighting it. Yes. So this past week in current hip hop,
THICHHH.
which was current hip hop history, which was just this week ago. This week in 2022, Eminem and Snoop's collaboration from the D to the LBC, the track.
Which was originally supposed to have been on... They put out an album recently, what is it? Mount Westmore, which is
Yeah.
Snoop, Ice Cube, Too
Yeah.
Short, and E40.
Yeah.
And that song was supposed to have been on that album. But it seems like it's going to come out on an Eminem album. Why I say it's important is because even though they come from the same team under the same umbrella, this is their first official song together. Eminem back in the day sampled Snoop for one of his records.
It's the B Please.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Old.
It's
He
part two,
he sampled one of his records and then they
They
never
were on-
actually did a song
yeah.
together. Even though they performed and they might have been of different collabs, but them officially have never did a record together. So
Together,
as we say,
together.
it will become an important week, maybe next year.
Yeah.
It will be in history.
And on our way home and on our way, Ari's been playing that song over and over.
Non-stop.
I have to.
Check
Can't
it
help
out.
it.
It's not a bad song.
It's a very good song.
It's okay.
It's an awesome song, right?
It's okay. I'm not gonna lie to the people. It's
yeah,
okay.
It's a good song. Don't say it's okay. It's not okay. It's never okay
Show
when
your
everyone is
bias all the time. Continue with TWIHHH.
Okay. This past week in hip hop history, back again. June 1970, Pete Rock was born. Dope producer, legendary.
And was a rapper as well, but more known for his production.
Yeah. June 1994, Bone Thugs released "Creepin' on Up."
Keeping
Come
it
on.
up.
Sorry.
Keeping on the come up.
You're really having a bad day with words.
Yeah, very bad. So that was their debut EP. EP stands for early production. Before they produced their full-fledged
Well,
album.
the actual difference between EP and LP is the length of the album. A shorter
Yeah.
album under 50 minutes would be regarded as an EP. Anything over that
No,
would be
it's
regarded as an
6
LP.
tracks. It's basically 5 tracks.
Well, they change the rules all the time, but before it used to be, if the album in its entirety is under 50 minutes, it would be regarded as an EP. If it's over that, it would be an LP.
Yeah, but currently now it's 5 tracks. It's an EP, and longer than 6 is regarded as an LP.
So they've changed the rules again, once again.
June 2004, Eric Sermon releases Chilltown, New York. That was his 6th album.
That was actually his comeback. Eric Sermon was part of EPMD, then he had the Def Squad and what was the other one? Redman was from Eric's crew, and then the other one, what would perish. That was his comeback album.
Okay. Jadakiss releases in June 2004. Jadakiss releases Kiss of Death. The title tracks from there is Why, and you know that one with Joe. What's I Know You Wanna or something.
Yeah. I think that Why is probably Jadakiss' biggest song commercially. It was a great album as well. I think I've spoken about the Locks and Jadakiss a lot on the show, so I don't need to
Yeah,
get
sorry, it's
much into it.
that song with Joe is called You Make Me Wanna.
Ah, that's the one.
Yeah.
And Why is a great song as well. Check it out, definitely.
June 1992, Mo Money's soundtrack is released. Also, there's quite a lot of hip hop in there. Hip hop tracks in there. June 23rd, 1978, Memphis Bleek was born.
A lot of people probably don't know who Memphis Bleek is. He was a Rockefeller artist. He was like Chase Lil Man. There's a record where he says, as long as I'm alive or even if I'm dead, Memphis Bleek will be a millionaire. Basically say like he got him. But he has some hits. He has a few gold albums.
Yeah. June 23rd, 1971, No ID was born. Also a dope producer. Did you know he ghost? You heard of ghost writing? He ghost produced for Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah, No ID's is also a Rockefeller
Yeah.
producer. He's on that record
He's
with J. Cole. He says, "No ID, my mentor. Now let the story begin."
Yeah.
He
He's
produced
Kanye
the
West's
whole-
mentor.
Yeah, he produced the whole 444 album.
For Jay.
And when you say ghost producing, I think that he is dead and he was in the studio.
No.
helping Jermaine to
No,
produce.
ghost
Like,
writer. No, you like you have a thing against ghost writers.
I do.
Yeah. So that's why I had to mention the ghost producing. Okay. Okay, we spoke about Eminem one.
How can it be in history if it happened yesterday?
Yeah, that's why I said current history. Anyway. June 20th, 2017, Prodigy from Mobb Deep passed away.
What's the date
Rest in
today?
peace.
So that's June 20th.
20th, yeah.
Okay, Prodigy. I don't know if we really spoke about him much on the show, but Prodigy, one half of Mobb Deep, extremely impactful lyrical rapper. If Shook One comes on today, everybody will know what that song is. One of the great MCs.
And
he
it's
had,
not
he
a
had a
eight-
run where
it's
he
not
was
a
one of the
8 Mile
best.
song?
One of the best. There was a period in time where he was the best MC for a little while in the game. Mobb Deep as a whole, as a collective, legendary group. When we spoke about the top 5 groups, I had my duos, which I wasn't supposed to have done supposedly, but they were in my top 5 duos.
Okay. June 22nd, 1962, Schoolie D was born. If you know about gangster rap, the first gangster song, gangster track, Schoolie D. Ice-T even mentioned it before. He done 6 in the morning. He
Police
heard-
at my door, fresh I did
Yeah.
a squeak across the bathroom floor. So a lot of people credit NWA with gangster rap, but they credit Ice-T. Ice-T, who was the first, actually credited Schoolie D with.
Yeah. So that's Schoolie D.
Now that's some hip hop history for you.
June 22nd, June 1999, Masi Elliott releases a second album. It's the second studio album.
Another Eric B. Rakim.
It's the same.
Oh.
Oh, no, it's not. So Eric B and Rakim, June 1992, that's one. They released their fourth and final studio album, Don't Sweat the Technique.
Well, final studio album as a collective.
Yeah.
Afterwards, Rakim has still been active. I think like last year, or before last year, he put out another album.
Yes. June 24, 2003, Gangstar released their sixth album, The Owners.
Gangsta, just for perspective, Gangsta is
Premier, DJ Premier, and Guru.
legendary. You must have heard the name before, and the MC was Guru.
Right. And that was it for this past week in hip hop history.
Alright, I hope you'll enjoy the TWI HHH.
And a TCWI.
You struggling with normal words, you're gonna confuse the acronym. Do not do it.
Just keep it
Yeah,
short and
just
sweet.
leave it.
Yeah,
Leave
leave it.
your inflections on this week in hip hop history.
That was this past week in hip hop history. Anyway, let's
Every
move
time you
forward.
do it, you put a different inflection on a different word. Just explain what it means as you are.
Yeah,
you
please. I
You
can't.
put in emphasis on different words. Just
Emphasis,
explain
yeah.
emphasis.
Yeah. Explain what does
no,
emphasis mean?
No, shut up. Anyway, that's the show for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. So as the future weeks come along, like last week, we discussed basically what beefs and battling is and its importance within the culture and the art form because of the competitive nature. So as the weeks go along, we'll delve into different battles or beefs that took place. We might not necessarily do them in chronological order, even though we started with an early one. But stay tuned if you're interested and in listening. So we'll delve into them, discuss them. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the turntable on Active FM, where radio has never been better.
Yes, this is the turntable where we keep you learned and get you turned, or get you learned and keep you turned. Any way you look at it.
Yeah, and that was Shiki, Ari Styles, and I'm D-Money. I'm just going to give you a small verse before we get into our final song. So it's coming from 1 Peter 5 verse 7. Cast all your cares on him because he cares for you.